Hello, everybody out there
Hi.
in the world of the internet and the world of the internet. That's all I have to say right now. Welcome to the living room. I am Dani Tirrell.
I'm Randy Ford,
I'm Mase the third.
and we are
The living
The
room.
living
room.
We did say
You know,
that twice.
it's okay. It is okay.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Totally.
What's the living room? Somebody.
We are a video podcast of three creative queers who are Black and on the trans spectrum in the contemporary arts. And we talk about all the things: politics, love, spirituality, bullshit. What am I missing?
I was going to say some of us are trans.
Some of us are trans.
Some of us
I mean, we
are.
all are trans, gender variant people. We're not straight or cis.
That has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with. We're not heteronorm. Okay.
Yes.
It's going to be one of those days today.
We see you down the path, Randy Ford. We see you down the path, okay?
Right.
Listen.
Yes, but
Yeah.
the gay ones.
Yeah, in addition to all those fun topics and who we are, we do want to remind people that this is a recorded episode. All these episodes are recorded and they'll be posted later onto our YouTube channel and our Facebook. If you are joining us live and do not want your name to be mentioned, if you make a comment, please let us know in your comment that you do not want us to repeat it out loud.
Thank you, Amy.
I'm just laughing because Jen Mace does not like going off script. Like, let's stick to the script, people.
Listen, I'm want to get into the topic for today. I'm like ready for the topic. I'm ready for the topic.
Yes,
You
you
know?
are ready for the topic.
You are ready.
We're recorded. Committed to collective growth and responsibility, Randy.
Yeah, we, the host and creators of the living room, want to make sure that the voices of Black, trans, and gender nonconforming people are centered, being that that's what we are. And so if you're offering up thoughts, please own up your own experience. Do not talk about experiences, especially if you are not queer or trans.
Yes.
Just own up to your own experience and we'll talk and we'll have a conversation. We can always, we're not trying to be all inclusive, but we're just trying to exist, right? So yeah, make sure that y'all know that we have every right to not have a question show up. We have every right to tell you to stop talking. But again, you can't really go back and forth here. But just know that we're in control.
Yeah. And we can block folks even from StreamYard, so that's a thing.
Yes, if you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, you can comment using any of the comments, and then we will, your comment will show up. Your face won't show up unless you have it in your emoji. But yeah, we're here.
We are here. We're still in a pandemic and we're still quarantining as much as we can. Some of us are better at it than others. Wash your hands, wear your mask, don't be around a whole bunch of people. I know everyone wants to go out to restaurants and be cute and want to that, but
Listen.
I know I went somewhere, I was driving somewhere and I was going through Lake Washington because I was coming from UW yesterday and every single park was packed.
Oh,
because
the sun was out.
Super packed. I was just like, y'all know we still sick. Anyway, so we're in a quarantine. Yes, we're gonna move on to one of our segments, which is blessings and bullshit. This is where we talk about our blessings, the things that have been pluses in our life, and then we talk about some bullshit. So, Randy, would you like to start us off?
I sure can.
Yay!
So I'll start with I'll start with the bullshit so I can end with the blessings because the week is just really long, y'all. So some of the bullshit. So on my way over here, small bullshit. I had a really great little snack that I was going to be prepared that I can kind of nibble on as we get through tonight. But when you can kind of smell something and it smells really good, especially when it's just great. But the smell of it being spilt.
Yes.
The smell of it existing is great, right? But also the smell of it being spilt is terrifying. And so I kind of had a whiff of that spilt smell, and I went,
Oh, no.
is the salsa everywhere? And it indeed was. And so, it was okay. I collected myself right before getting in here. I said, you know what? It's okay. I can't cry over spilled salsa. But yeah, it was only a little fraction to a lot of the bullshit that I just had for like last week and kind of this week. And we're gonna get into it, but I am over the petty politics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much over people, entities, orgs, structures, whatever existing, having so much power, having so much resources, and then just so many things get in the way of like sharing those resources. And when it can just be so simple, like just sharing the freaking resources, like there are people who need resources, and it's just, it's been very, aggravating, infuriating, just to kind of like be just like, witness to so many things that don't have to be, and so we're gonna get more into that, but I'm over the pettiness, like over it. Blessings though. Last weekend the bully ball at Jimi Hendrix Park was actually one of the best weekends I've had since the quarantine started.
Yes.
Must say. The event didn't get too crowded, didn't get too hectic. People came in their looks, showing up, showed out. It started 3 hours late, but typical ball.
I mean, it's not a ball if it starts on time. I don't know that I've ever been to a ball that.
We were stressed about the rain though, and we were trying to make sure that rain was gonna like the pocket of dryness was there. Like all we had was that leaf, in like a turf, a tarp. And so, but it actually turned out the rain was the least of our problems. We only had to like tell people to spread out once, but it was just so nice to see community come together, celebrate. Everyone said they needed it that day. You showed up. I've seen you there. I was like, what, Dani? Blessing? My roommate showed up. I was like, David's giving us our blessing. Like, what? Like it was just so sweet. The House of Noir, that was our first ball. We're super happy, super
it was good. It was beautiful.
Thankful that y'all came, because we were just like, this is why we stressed out to do this, you know. And a little bit to cap my blessing a little bit is, it's kind of like a nervous kind of thing, but I talked to a behavioral health specialist last week. And because it's been on my heart to kind of like dive more into my mental health and kind of like get a professional opinion besides my own on, maybe what I think could be going on up there. And so, I had a conversation with someone through recommendation of my doctor, and they're having to keep track of my thoughts. And so that's kind of like scary, but it has been allowing me to kind of like check in with my thoughts and be like, oh, what is this stemming from, and like what's going on? So it's been like, really nice to have, to have that. And it's also been nice to have the Cutie Pox support group that the Black Trans Task Force hosts Monday. I didn't know I needed that evening, that 1 hour of just being, just like, pause, check in with your mentor. So the times I've been able to check in with myself have been blessings, and just like, oh, this is what I need to like keep going. Make it, so it's been a crazy, hectic, long week, but we've been finding space to like woosah a little bit. So,
That's awesome.
That's me.
And let's start with the bullshit. So I believe they are in Everett or the Shoreline area. It's called Black Coffee Northwest. They are a new coffee shop cafe owned by a Black couple, a Black family. They're not the bullshit. So
I was like,
they're not. I was like, we're stacking Black families down. What are we doing now? That's not how we get down here.
Right. And I want to set that up because I'm going to talk about something that happened to them early this morning. That is the bullshit. They have been saving and wanting to put this coffee shop together, and they were supposed to open tomorrow. They cannot because some white person decided to try to burn their building.
Wow.
They tried to throw a Molotov cocktail inside of their building. They tried to break a window with a brick. And when that didn't happen, they went to the backside of their building and they tried to burn the building up. So this family, if you go to, I'll put this up first. If you go to blackcoffeenorthwest.com, you'll find out their story. I don't necessarily want to name them. They've been saying stuff publicly on Facebook, so but I do want to respect them. So someone tried to burn down their building, and so it's going to delay them opening. And if you want to donate to them, their PayPal is irwin@blackcoffeenorthwest.com. And so why this story is significant, this family also, they are on the streets protesting. There's a mother and daughter. They're consistently on the streets protesting. And the mother is the director of Northside Step Team. It's up north. And these young women, these young girls that she mentors are on the front line of protests in Seattle. And it's youth led. The mother does a lot of social justice work herself, but the youth have been taking the charge. And I had the pleasure of being in a show and a performance with them, and that's how I started to get to know them. And the mother does a lot of work inside of activism, and so Mr. B knows her. And we didn't know,
small.
But I just want to shout out this family because of the work that they're doing. I want to shout out the fact that, excuse me, this is not their first time being harassed, by the way. They have been harassed in their neighborhood, along with other members of Northside Step Team, because they're speaking out against Black Lives Matter. This white older man, they were protesting on the street. This was a few months ago. Tried to run over the youth. And so it's just bullshit. Again, Black folks are trying to do something great. And because you, as white people, don't like what they're saying, you want to destroy everything they work for. And then you are the same people that will say, y'all need to work harder. Y'all need to do this. So they save the money. They're working hard. They're trying to be business owners. And some white people decide to want to destroy what they're doing. And again, y'all not even connecting with what y'all saying. We do the thing that you all want us to do, but then you destroy it because we won't let you all treat us like crap. So that is a bullshit. Again, Black Coffee Northwest, if you want to donate to them, irwin@blackcoffeenorthwest.com, and this is the website, www.blackcoffeenorthwest.com. So I say, please at least just shout them out when they open. I believe they're in Everett or Shoreline. They're up north, but still, I will be traveling my Black ass up there. Shoreline. Thank you. I will be traveling my Black ass to Shoreline and making sure that I support them and let folks know that they have a whole community behind them, which they already do. So it just breaks my heart because they're really sweet people. Their daughter, she's super awesome. They also have a teenage son or a son who's in college, I believe. And so just, again, family just out there killing it on top of that. And people are trying to destroy their dreams. So that's the bullshit that I wanted to bring up inside of that. And again, just making sure that we support them. And you can also go on our Facebook page, Black Coffee Northwest, to find out more about them. So I appreciate them. The blessing for me is that this is the last day. And so I've been posting this whole month about Black joy. And the blessing inside that for me is just, I get to choose. I get to choose my Black joy. I get to choose what I post. I get to choose what I put out there in the world. So it's been some really beautiful responses. I don't know what I will do after this, but I'm trying to utilize my social media not for a lot of negativity because I can't take it. Like my mental can't take it. My emotional can't take it. So on my Instagram, Dani Tirrell, if you go there, I just been trying to post a lot of pictures of like Black joy. Some of them are thirst trappy.
They're very good.
Yeah.
Actually.
Instagram blocked one of my Black joy posts because it was way too thirst trappy. I mean, it was a little over the edge, but these men should be having on clothes to cover up a lot of things, but they didn't.
Oh.
So I posted because it's not my fault that they have it on the internet, and that was joyful.
Oh wow! Okay.
It's on my Facebook page. They didn't take it off from Facebook.
Oh,
Instagram. They didn't. So that has just nasty, just no good, nasty. So I'm just saying that was part of my joy. But I think yes, we're angry. Yes, we're upset as Black folks, as queer folks, Black queer folks, as marginalized folks. Yes, we have a right to be angry and to protest and do all of those things. I find moments of joy if you can, and try to sit in that, because if not, I just feel like we're going to be so inundated. We're already ready for a fight because there was a debate that I'm sure we'll get into sometime. You know, there was a debate, and the person who was elected, not by us, to be the president of this country is just stupid. And so said some really racist, horrible things. And so we have to be ready for a fight, but also we cannot let them steal our joy. So that's what I have to say on that. That was a lot. Mase, what about you? You're on mute.
Oh,
You muted yourself.
I'm sorry. See, I was trying to be all through it. I was like, this is my clear, coherent thoughts. Yes.
Yes.
But so as you're talking about the election, right? So I mean, there's one hand in which there's part of the bullshit that I'm thinking about, right? And I've been thinking about very heavy is, on one hand we have someone who is willing to publicly state their allegiances to white supremacists, and we have another person on the other aisle who's going to gaslight us about it, right? And so we have and so what I'm also thinking about very much is not just the people like the Proud Boys who were shouted out and got all that different press yesterday, but I'm thinking also about the white liberals, the white moderates, and the white folks that will tell us that these things are not actually happening or not that serious, or that it's not really a place for us to ever be violent or to have to protect ourselves, right? And somehow everything's going to be fine when we just saw someone clearly stating that it is not going to be fine, right? And clearly putting us in a position in which our safety is at risk. Not that it's going to be, not like as this is a pontification, but that we've been dealing with upticks in violence for a while now. And still we're not seeing that acknowledgement outside of anybody except for ourselves, right? And so I think that's what's the bullshit that I feel like I see a lot of Black, brown, indigenous folks still pleading with white folks to understand our pain or understand the trauma that we're experiencing, that it's simply not possible, because I think part of whiteness is being incapable of understanding other human emotions and other human experiences. So I think that's the big thing on my mind right now as far as bullshit. As far as blessings, I told y'all I signed up for a little matchmaker, trying to be serious about my dating because I'm in my mid-30s,
And
it is what it is. So I haven't been matched yet. But I'm trying to trying to take dating seriously. That's what I'm doing. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Cool.
Swimming in the ocean.
Is it a vast ocean with lots of fish?
That's the hope. I don't know. So you're in your 20s ocean. I'm in the 30s ocean. So in the 30s ocean, there's a little bit less fish. There's a little bit more nuclear waste in the water. A little bit, sludge. You gotta swim around and gotta fish out a little bit. But hopefully at some point you get to some nice pristine places. So we'll find out.
Wow, I wonder where you're swimming.
Listen. We're not gonna get into all my nihilism today, but it's part of it.
Part of it.
Look, Mase is trying to.
Yeah, maybe you can shoot your shot right now. Do a little something for the people.
Not these people. Shelby.
Not on my work time. I
mean,
you're so in the ocean.
Right. What is work
What is
time?
work time anymore?
Listen.
Work and play.
That's another episode.
That is really. So today, I want to make sure that you're done, Mason, talking about, making your matches.
I'm done. That was my one blessing for the weekend. I'm trying to be positive. Y'all know I'm good at the negative thinking.
Not you.
Never. I'm never negative. I am so positive.
You don't have a negative bone in your body.
If you were super negative, we wouldn't be friends. Like, that's just real. Like, no, you are not. You're actually not.
You're not a joke.
No, we would not be friends. I'd be like, Mason, Jay Mason. Right.
Negative.
Right. So this week, our main topic, we want to talk about solidarity or the lack of solidarity.
Like the possibility of solidarity.
Possibility of solidarity.
Yeah.
So we want to frame this. I will frame it for myself. There are a lot of organizations, especially Black organizations inside of Seattle, and we know this is not just in Seattle, it's across the country and across the world, who are at this point in time not working together. And I know that sounds easier than what it is, but there has been some things being said on Twitter and Facebook and emails and like all of these things. And the thing that I think about the most inside of this, at least for us, is that as you all are fighting each other and as you all are trying to get some type of clout, and again, whatever you got to say, you got to say. But the reality is that the verdict of Breonna Taylor still happened. She still died. A week ago or so, there was a Black trans woman shot 6 to 9 times by the police. 16. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Thank you. By the police. Black people are still being murdered. Black people are still getting their businesses burned. So I say that all to say that as you all are fighting for Black liberation and solidarity with each other, y'all are missing the whole point because these things are still happening. And you're also playing into what white supremacy wants. That's my opinion. That is not the opinion of my co-host. That is my opinion. They have their own opinion. But I just want to be clear that I feel really out of alignment with a lot of the activist circles and a lot of the protests and a lot of the people running these organizations, because people say, I speak for the Black community. And so you actually need to define who you're speaking for. Because nobody has said, yo, Dani, Mase, Randy, what do you all think? But you're speaking for us. So I'm going to say this. Instead of fighting each other, fight the real enemy. I don't care how much money is involved. That's still not going to save my life. Because you're going to use that money to fuel the thing that you're trying to do. And again, you're not going to save my life. And I know I'm probably stepping on a lot of toes, and I'm probably about to get a whole bunch of shit. You know I don't care. Y'all just know I don't care, because the thing that I see happening is so sad and it hurts so bad. When we yet have to wake up again to hear that another Black life has been taken, that we have to now say yet another Black trans person's name. But y'all fight for Black trans people. I'm done at that point in time. Somebody else want to take this? I know we have questions, but I just wanted to.
It connects to my bullshit from earlier. Just again, we have resources, and like Dani said and hit the nail on the head, this is what they want us to do. They want us to fight each other and have these petty things and be like, well, this is what happened to me and this is what happened and you did this and you did okay, we get that. We want to honor that. I want to honor, you know what I mean, boundaries. I want to honor harm and honor all that stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am a person that's we get to the things that really matter? Like, honestly, like I did not sign up to do this.
No.
And yeah, I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit too for speaking on, because yeah, like there's so like the reality TV show type shit that I went, like I'm just like, what is going on? Like you can't write half of it. It's just like, what? And yeah, and it's very discouraging because again, like this is what we do. We tend to, the cancel culture. I'm not with the cancel culture. How can we, how can we build better like understandings and versus just like, okay, well, we can't ever, like, does that always have to work? Does that always work? Is my question. Like moving forward, 2020, we're in what? We're gonna be October fucking tomorrow. Like what can we do? What can we do? Like what does solidarity look like? For me, it looks like us really like having those hard conversations.
Right.
Especially as a diaspora, there's so many, divisions of blackness, and queer is just one of them. There's economic status, ableism, all these things, colorism, pretty politics, areas where you live, how many, like, it's that monetizing capitalistic kind of approach versus a community approach. And I'm not sure if people want to give up on the capitalism, on like the selling point, and like they always want you to buy into something. It's like, no, can you just help me because you're supposed to?
I mean, we know money equals power. Like that's what we've been told. We've been fed that. So
yeah.
Well, I guess like I have a bunch of things that are kind of coming up, and I apologize. There's some fireworks happening outside my window right now that I was not anticipating. So I was about to run out this room right now, real quick, y'all. So that's what my face was saying. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, we gotta go. Like, because I think a lot of times, many of us will say like, "Oh, I'm down for Black folks," or "I'm down for this." So I guess there's two things, right? Because one of the questions I wanted to ask y'all is like, how do we even define what solidarity is, right? So that's one question I have, largely, which I think to some of y'all's points is that many of us believe that just inherently, because we've said a thing, that we're operating from that standpoint already, that we're already kind of in alignment with people. Like I can say, I'm down for Black folks. I know for myself, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for myself, my organizing, there was a time in which I would say, I'm down for all Black folk in my organizing and my stuff, and I still believe that as part of the politic. But when it comes to my organizing, I know my organizing is down for trans folks, right? Like my organizing is down for this, my organizing is down for this. And it's like I've become a little bit more particular in how I speak about my work, because I know, one, what I have capacity for, and two, because I know that we're often left out of so much, right? And so I know that I'm trying to be authentic and honest about, like what I can actually show up to and who I can show up for. That if someone's asking me for something, as much as I love my Black cis colleagues and loved ones and siblings and all those different things, I'm not probably going to rush to that fire in the same way, because I know I actually have some other work here that needs to get done that is usually neglected. And so I guess, like, how do we even get ourselves to be more authentic about that and about what corner we're actually sitting in? I'd also like to hear y'all kind of, if y'all have answers about this, and we can ask our guests Evo later today, when we bring them up. But I'd be curious to know, like, as you all witnessed those different segmentations and those, like some infighting, because that's what it sounds like y'all was describing, some infighting that happens. That's not new movements, right? That happened in the Civil Rights Movement. That happened, when BLM first started, when Black Lives Matter first started. That happens like continuously through any movement. When we get people together to talk about what justice is, no one's going to agree on what justice is. We're all going to have different vantage points. So have y'all seen any kind of ways in which people have participated in good de-escalation tactics, or other sort of ways in which you've seen people mediate between some of those infighting?
I'm just going to be honest with you, not right now. I have not seen it. I think people are trying to, but everyone's like, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. And the interesting thing about that is, like, people know how to start the negativity. They don't know how to start the healing. Like, and that fascinates me. So I honestly, Mason, I have not seen it. And that's also the sad part, because everyone's saying that it's somebody else's responsibility for the healing to happen. and no one is saying it's my responsibility. So I'm going to put down my shield and my sword, and I'm going to come to you because that's what I really want to happen. And that involves all of our human emotions of letting go of our egos and letting go of our pride and all of that stuff. And I get it, and it can be a really scary thing. I take myself through those processes also, but right now I've just seen a lot of people talking about that it needs to happen, and no one has crossed a line to say like let's let it happen. And this is multiple organizations.
Yeah,
this is just like
one.
It's multiple
It's
organizations.
a people thing.
So that's my answer to that, Randy.
I'm gonna talk for myself. I work with a lot of people, right? And not everyone I work with likes each other. And so some of the things for me, because it definitely comes up all the time, just, having to, like be either a mediator or, just one, remembering the work that needs to be done and not inserting myself into certain things. Like for me, I think good mediation is going to the problem, going to the, it's beyond what happened, like what happened before, what led up, what from both sides, not just the, the typical like, oh, the most harm happened to this person, so we're going to listen to them more on that. But no, let's actually listen to both sides a little bit, because like I'm always like, there's always two sides, right? And so, and it's never, I don't think I do it perfectly or anything. There's definitely still things that I don't know, never go into play, but it's like I don't even know how to start it. For me, it's about stepping into that ring though. Right. Like I think the first step is stepping up, being like, I am willing to try this again. I'm willing to open up. I'm willing to hear you. Because a lot of people just want to be heard, but they're not willing to listen to the other side and hear where they came from. Or hear where they might have, overstepped or something again that contributed to. And so I think the first step is like, you have to be willing to be told about yourself, and like not hold on to like I have a right to be because again, like we can do all the receipts in the world. We can do all of the, call out culture or, reading the filth, as I say to people, but it's like, what is like, are you doing this to help the solution? Or are you doing this just to get your points across?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, are you doing this because like these are really pertinent to solving it? Or you really want to maybe make that person like, I don't know, either hurt more or no, really like, I don't know, like you have to want to fix it. And some people don't want the solidarity.
That's true. Mason, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm thinking about, I feel like you felt very teachery to me. Just like, Mason, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? You're not in kick, like you're getting a B right now. So I think for me, what I'm thinking about a lot in this, as we talk about, again, just like when you're saying a lot of people don't want to fix it, I'm kind of curious as to like, if people have seen successful solidarity movements at all, right? So I think that's also a thing, right? So is that a lot of times we haven't been passed down different tactics, different things. So we're trying to replicate things we actually haven't seen in practice. Sometimes we're recreating a wheel entirely. And so I think for me, largely, I try to go into a space, not in all spaces, but I think in many spaces, like ain't nobody like perfect with all their shit all the time. But I think a lot of times what I've been trying to do or reflect on at this point in my life is really just being like, assuming that people are trying to do the best they can and just have like, and are just fucking up because they don't know any better right now. And it's like, if I can just explain a little piece to them, right, we'll get a little closer to doing a little better. And if we're explaining it too much, then it's like, okay, I kind of know a little bit more about this person's reasoning or their tactics or stuff like that. But I don't know, I think I was a little bit more, when I first started organizing, I think I was a lot more hostile from jump, if I should say that, or like I was dismissive quicker. And so I think I'm a lot softer now. Yeah. I'm just softer.
Read this comment from Larissa. I can't see it because the light is bright. Can you?
Yeah.
It's on Instagram.
It says, they said, healing is difficult for people because it is easier and more familiar to hold on to the pain than to create a bigger, healthier reality for themselves.
Like, we've created whole identities around the pain, right? We've created whole identities around the pain, and many of us do not know. Many of us have no idea who the fuck we would be without the pain. That's the reality. And so if we don't feel like we're the most hurt person in the room, or we're the most hurt, or with, person on the planet, right? We don't know what our role is. We don't know like how to participate, and we actually don't know how to show up for other people who are also hurting, right? And so I think something we see in space is like the reality is, especially when we're organizing as Black folks together, we all hurt, right? Like we're all experiencing trauma, and so sometimes it's hard to see those gradations. Sometimes it's hard to see all the different types of overlap and separation, because nobody can just use that initial like, this is my pain. Like, why is my pain specifically that I deserve to have addressed not being addressed in this moment all the time?
That's so honest. That's so real.
Yeah, something that just came into my brain. Should we be more, I don't know, like, because we're doing organizing work and because the stakes are so high and like resources are, at our little fingertips. Some of them, not all of us have, money or whatever. But like, should we be more like, well, if you're organizing, it's kind of expected that you might have those skills to kind of like, or that you want to jump into those skills of solidarity work because it kind of comes with the thing. Like, do people think that way? Is that
people crown themselves that way?
Necessary, like it's a necessary thing to like, be in solidarity with, or like to like learn how to, or what to commit? Just question.
Listen.
So I would say that I think for the most part, our hearts are always in a good place when we move into the work of trying to be in work of organizing and work of like trying to help people forward. Our hearts are in the right place. A lot of times our spirits are not.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my thought process about it, is that and our spirits, and when we see certain things, when we get certain clout, when we start climbing up the ladder, that becomes more important than the work. But we're always centered around the work, and we become more important than the work. Let me be very clear. And so when we are not invited into certain things, we get upset, we get mad, then we start saying, well, this person is this person is that. And we become toxic inside of the work. That's not all the time, but it does happen and it does show up. But then we call everybody else toxic. Again, we don't look at our own behavior when we're doing this type of work. We look at everybody else around us. If I am for the joy and liberation of Black people, and y'all know I say that all the time, I have to look at myself. And if I am not doing the work for all Black people, and I'm putting myself inside of the work, I'm putting myself first, then I'm doing not the job that I said that I was going to do. So I'm going to shut up and sit down for a minute and check myself. Mason, I know you wanted to say something.
I have lots of thoughts, but so one question that I think might be kind of a scary question for some of us, or what have you, and people watching, this is also for y'all. Yeah, even on the replay for y'all. Has there been a time when you realized that you were in the way of the work?
No, yes.
The question is like, what is there? So I guess like what would be helpful as we're kind of articulating this, without like, putting everybody's business out there on Front Street, is there ways for us to talk specifically about times when we've noticed that we were in the way of the work, right? Yeah, or at least realize that we had to settle our shit a little bit. Like, because I'm thinking about definitely sometimes, because I think that going to our hearts are in the right place, or our spirits might not be, or and however we want to conceptualize it. I'm definitely thinking about some times and places in which, maybe I didn't respond as quickly as I wanted to around harm that was caused, right? Like if I, in retrospect, or maybe I was learning some more skills around negotiation I didn't really know, or maybe there were some times in which, I wasn't as quick to share, as I wanted to be, right? But I think that, I don't know, I think the more that we're all clear that we have so many blessings and toxicity all the time, the more clear we can be on what we can give to the movement, because the work doesn't end, right? So we'd like to think it ends, but the work is literally probably not going to end during our lifetime.
Of course not. And you know, it's. I would think like now recently, I have been in the way of the work, and so when everything started happening after George Floyd, and especially all of these white institutions started to like put out these solidarity statements, and you folks know I was extremely vocal, and then I had to like step back, and I'm like, what am I putting my energy into? Am I putting it into being mad at you all because y'all are always late to the game? And now that we're in a pandemic, you have time to really think about, you know, the harm that Black lives are going through and that have been going through. So I'm putting all my energy in there, and it's like that's in the way of the work for me. That's one of the ways that I've done it. And also like because I may be in a relationship with like say a Randy, that I'm like Team Randy, but then if someone's saying like Randy's causing me harm in that way, I'm not able to step away and say like, yo, Randy, wait a minute. I love you, but this person is saying this. So that's also how we get in the way of the work. And I've done that before, and not, but I've been like, oh, person, I'm down for them, I'm down for them. But then I realized it's just like, wait a minute. Let me look at the full picture of the thing. And so that's just some of the examples. It's really hard because you want to be in solidarity with people, but you also have to be able to be like, yo, you're my friend. I also need to like let you know what you did to that person is not right. And we don't have enough people around there like that either. Around us that pull us and be like, girl, you know you wrong. So
yeah, I think for me, one of the ways I've been in the way of the work was trying to do everything and just be attached to every single thing that was happening. And if I had a little inkling of an interest in it, I should be like, oh, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And especially before the pandemic, you know, there was like a couple of years before where I was like in a show every month or in something every month and not taking care of myself, but just putting all this emphasis in, you know, being seen as doing the work. And then when you mentioned earlier, you know, like the more you're able to focus on what you do and like the things that, you know, you can like really cultivate, the more you have access, you know, for everything else. And yeah, the more I stay in my lane, I think that's also what solidarity is for me too. Everybody's trying to be all the things and do all the things and have these check boxes of, you know, anti-oppression. And it's like, stick to your lane. Like, stay in your avenue, in your alley, on your sidewalk, on the curb. I don't know, like, stay in your lane. It's okay. Not everybody needs to be doing all the things. Not everyone has capacity or the time or the resources to do all the things. So it's like, if you're just, you know, someone who is a whiz at, you know, being a listening ear for someone, be that whiz. You know what I mean? Don't overextend just because, you know, yes, find the excess for you, but don't just do it just because like you want to be seen as, you know, again, like this, you know, liberal person. It's like a progressive person. It's like, that's not it. That's, again, you're putting yourself, you know, the validation of you in front of the actual need. And so, yeah, solidarity is like staying in your own lane, not having to be in everything, pacing yourself, rest, you know, like that's what my tactics are, and they don't work all the time.
I want to tell a little story.
What's your little story? Tell us the story, Dani Tirrell.
It's about to
Is it a
sound
shady
real
story?
Well, it's going to sound really shady, but it's actually not.
We're gonna get through 3 minutes to decide if it's shady.
It's just truthful. It's my truth. I'm speaking my truth. So I received a message via Instagram to be a part of this vote thing.
You said vote or vote?
Vote.
Okay.
Vote.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I'm looking at this thing and I'm looking at the people who sent it, and I was just like, okay. I was like, so these are my issues. Because more non-Black people are feeling the weight of this president, you now want to be in solidarity with BIPOC people. And again, I have issues with all of that. but you want to be in solidarity. You want BIPOC people to do all this extra work to tell people to vote. And we've been through 100 million fucking presidents, and y'all bitches ain't voted for us one time.
Ever.
Except for Barack Obama, who y'all were excited about because we were Negro. But all the other fucking presidents, including Barack Obama, have not been for Black people, have not been for trans people, have not been for Black trans people. Like, let's be real. But now because Miss White Woman is feeling the weight of this president, they want us to be like, let's be in something, let's make these statements, let's put them out there. And I was just like, are you really asking me to do something that you only cared about in the past 4 years? Do you realize that Black people had to be under so many presidents who absolutely hated them? And so how dare you want to be in solidarity with me now because it is affecting you? Ooh. Mm-hmm. So I was about to get in the way. I was like, y'all do y'all statements. Y'all have fun. Y'all do it. It may sound really shady, but it is not being shady. It's like, please understand. Think critically about what you're asking people to do. What were you about to say, Mason?
I was going to say, is a statement of solidarity even? Because you're saying, because even as, it's presented as solidarity, but it's like, what, again, like, and we talked about this last week, like what people need is like, we need go bags, we need like safety shit, we need like money and resources to be able to make decisions, because it's one thing to be able to have like like a small semblance of food. The other thing to be able to say like I can pick up and leave if I need to, right. Like different markers of security. And so I think that often what's presented as solidarity is people wanting to preserve white institutions or white adjacent institutions, right? And that's not abuse. It does not personally benefit me or my community to keep being in alignment with institutions that are violent to us all the time, right? And so I'm thinking, so to me, the biggest marker of solidarity is if you're not willing to give something up, you're not willing to be in solidarity. So if you're not willing to give up your position, if you're not willing to give up some money, if you're not willing to give up some land, if you're not willing to give up your reputation sometimes, because to be in actual solidarity with Black people means to be sometimes against the law, means sometimes to be against what's popular, means sometimes to be against what is going to keep you employed, right? That takes the actual risk that many of us don't have choices in deciding. Like many of us get fired or get pushed out of neighborhoods or get put into or get arrested or get put into very nefarious situations, not because we chose to be political or we chose to do this, but because we were just being Black outside, right? Or Black in our homes or Black on the street or Black wherever, Yeah.
I will say this. I am involved in a project about voting led by a Black queer person. And it's not even about voting in a particular way. But, and again, I'm in solidarity with other Black, queer, and trans people on this project that we'll talk about later. Somebody else is involved in this project. Me personally, I'm behind the scenes, so you will not see my face involved. But I just say it's like, when you talk about like working in solidarity, Mason, it's also about working with in solidarity with people who are not trying to push a particular agenda. It's like, this whole project is really about like, if I matter, then you're going to make a decision that makes me understand that I matter. Your choice is going to make me understand that I matter. And if I don't matter to you, then you make the choice that you need to make. But we'll talk about more of that later.
And working in solidarity means actually working in solidarity. Like you can't invite people last minute to the thing that you worked on and say that we're working in solidarity with you when no one from the community that you're working for was involved in the process. Mm-hmm. So like you have to actually work with the people you're working with, not just for like the last bit of the process. So, invite them from the beginning. Don't jump. You know what I mean? Again, ask them what they want.
Did you receive an email or something?
I received maybe an email.
This weekend?
Maybe.
That a due date was today?
Yeah, the due date was maybe today.
Oh, I received that same email and did not respond. Okay, so again, I'm not going to be shady. I'm just being truthful. So, see this email from someone that I don't know. And I love when emails start like, oh my God, I don't know you, but I love your work and I really admire you. That's sign number one. Don't ever send no fucking email like that.
Ever.
Don't ever. Because that's sign.
Let me tell everyone out here watching, y'all can send me emails like that. Okay, you might not want to send any emails like you can send me emails like that. I'm totally down for that. I'm okay with it.
I'm not.
Send me that email.
Then it comes with bullshit after that. It comes with bullshit after that. So
not enough coin.
That part. So the bullshit was, I have a deadline of September 30th, and I really just need you to be a part of this project. And I need you to like nominate these like BIPOC organizations to get some money. But I really need to know today. I really need to know now. You really need to see that. And it's about an hour, just like an hour of your time, and we only have like $80 to pay you. But we need to know it today. Not only through my email, then through Instagram. Okay. Again, the issue with that is, I'm a Black fucking queer trans spectrum person who is trying to make a coin, and your urgency is taken away from my coins that I'm trying to make. Let's start there. You're not considerate of my time. You may think 5 minutes or an hour is not a lot of time. It is a bunch of time.
When it ain't mine.
And then you frame this email to rush me to do something that you were not on time with. Mm-hmm. Yes, I want BIPOC and Black organizations and everybody to get some coin, but also you didn't consider what maybe was going on this week or last week. You didn't consider it, and then you hit me up twice with this urgency. Mm-hmm. Like I did something fucking wrong. And again, you want folks to work in solidarity with you when you ain't on time with your solidarity. Okay, that's all I'm going to say with that.
That's just a self-care thing I've been doing for myself, doing for me during the pandemic. Because I think we've all talked about this at some point, but deadlines are getting shorter now for art lately. So like everyone, like this is going to give you 2 weeks. Like this is happening.
You froze for a second.
Huh?
You froze for a second.
Oh, am I unfrozen?
Yes. You was about
good now. Did I freeze?
Okay, you was about to go. Okay. I was waiting.
No, I was saying that now that deadlines are getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. Am I still freezing?
No, we're in.
Wait, looking at me. I'm like, okay. So I'm saying no to anything that comes into my inbox that gives me 2 weeks or less. Like if you don't give me more than 2 weeks, it's just automatically a no. I'm not going to do it. I'm probably not going to respond because I actually want to give myself enough rest because people at the start of the pandemic, they were like, oh, we want to make stuff that's relevant. Not that we want to make good stuff, but we want to make stuff that's relevant, right? To the time. And so people were rushing to create all this different stuff. And the pandemic is now we're 8 months in. Chill out. Like you don't have to the same pandemic is going to be happening next week. So it's going to be happening next month. So you really don't have to rush me on a project. Like we can really give it a couple weeks. Just give me some time.
Yeah. But it's like, not only are you rushing folks for this project, you also insult people with I got $80 to pay you. Hunty.
Hunty. $80 and the first is tomorrow?
I was say that. I need to pay what's called rent.
Risen.
And I do not live on a grain of sand. I just, again, yes, I know we're running close to time because we want to bring in our special guest, but okay, you said something, Mason. I'm sorry, this is going to be the shady hour for Dani Tirrell right now. Again, this is no hate to anybody. This is just my thoughts.
It's your truth.
I don't see mask art. It's just not my thing right now. I don't really care about your pandemic art and a mask and social distancing. Because it's gonna get old, it's already old. Like we get it. You have to wear masks and you have to social distance. And you showing that and why do we have to jump on every trend?
I don't know if I'm familiar with it. What's the trend? I don't even know if I know this trend.
Mask prints?
I see a lot of dance people putting out videos of everyone 6 feet apart with masks on, and they're And I'm just like, again, I'm speaking by truth.
Listen, I love a good mask. Let me tell you something. I want everyone. I don't care if they're 100 feet apart. I want everyone to wear a mask all the time. Okay.
I did not say I don't like a good mask. I don't need to see it in every single art that's being created right now. I just don't.
Oh, I want more of it. We're going to disagree on this subject. I'm just going to say that right now. And I'm like, more masks.
If you put your poorly mask on in the video, we're not friends. I'm just going to let you know.
Listen, let me tell you right now, okay?
Oh, look.
See,
Listen.
I don't want you to be spitting a poem about being covered up from head to toe underneath your pillow, afraid of the virus. Like, I love you, Mason, but I just don't want to see it.
Now you're going to see it. I'm about to make
he'll text me everything. He'll be like, and tonight I went to bed with a mask on. Like, it's gonna be so many text messages.
I'm about to make a little line of t-shirts like just back the fuck up. It's a pandemic. Like literally. I'm making a whole
I'm not trying to be shady to people. I'm just like, sometimes we are less imaginative than what we think we are.
On that note, I'm gonna try a new thing with Instagram Live. I'm going to pause and I'm going to log back on. There's going to be so many tears. Yes, there are. But we're going to log back on, and when we come back,
there's going to be a guest.
We will have our special guest, Evo, is talking about her book Insubordinate and Tina's Kids.
That's on Instagram. We're still here.
Yeah, we'll stay there.
We're still here now.
Commercial.
Yeah. We'll see what they think about masks.
So
let's bring in. Let's just add you to the stream. Are you ready? Before I say that, let me get consent before I just pull you in. And this craziness. Okay, let's just pull you in. Evo. Oh, everybody on mute.
You can't hear me. Hi. Hello.
Yes, there you are.
there we go.
Look, I'm not trying to be shady. I'm really not trying to be shady. I'm just, there's some things that gets old really quickly.
Just a touch.
How do you feel about mask art, Ebo? That's the important question. How do you feel about it?
I feel that they're important to wear out in public.
Yes.
And I feel that there are some creative ways in which masks have been used in art, but I do think that not everyone is capable of doing that in a way that makes sense.
That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Ebo. You're much more eloquent than I am.
Y'all gonna make me go look up some mask art because I'm like, I'm not seeing what y'all seeing. Like, I'm like, there's mask art, there's more art encouraging people to wear masks. I want this in my life, like everywhere. Like, I want to play it on a big screen out here. Nobody wears a fucking mask down in West Seattle. It's getting on my fucking nerves.
Oh,
it's a difference in between like wearing a mask on the street. Like, it's really a different, and it's a different when you turn on someone making a painting outside and they have a mask on and they have masks wrapped around their shoulders. Like, it's a difference.
I hear what you're saying. I'm so like, listen, I hear exactly what you're saying. What I'm saying is we're going to disagree on this. Okay. Fundamentally. Okay. I just need to.
Okay. So let's take it away from my dislike of mask art and let's move on to our special guest,
Evo Barton. Oh my gosh, Evo, I'm setting you up on IG so that people on IG can see the special guest.
Okay. We're not doing that.
We're gonna try this. I have your bio. Do you want me to read it, or do you want me to kind of just go off the dome?
That just feels better. I'm sorry, y'all.
You just do whatever you want to do.
All right, I'm gonna do your bio because no. I think your bio is really cute, and I took it from online. Okay. So, Evo Barton. Evo Barton comes from Salt, from the moment before worlds converge. In this world, we are still trying to articulate that mixed Black and Filipino, transgender and non-binary, queer artists and educators not only matter, but are precious. In another world, Barton is loved, safe, and valued. The only difference being that the latter is a path they must make themselves. You may have seen Ibo's work in Adrian Issue 1 by Sibling Rivalry Press, Thriving While Trans, A Love Manual, Natasha Marin's Black Imagination, the King County Metro, and online on Right About Now, Button Poetry, and All Deaf Poetry channels. In 2016, they placed 5th in the world at Individual World Poetry Slam. In 2017, they co-wrote and co-produced the award-winning play, Rising Up. In 2018, they played the Invisible One in Anastasia Renee's Queer Mama, Crossroads, and reprised the role in 2019. A leader in the arts and activism, Ibo Barton is committed to creating opportunities for others to organize, heal, and rejoice. From weekly open mics to curated shows like Alchemy Poetry and Ben Israel to educating across the country at various institutions. 2020 Jack Straw Writing Fellow, Ibo Barton's written, performative, and community work demands societal reckoning. That's a badass bio. Welcome, Ibo Barton.
Thank you. This is so fancy. I'm seeing all the ways in which the squares are doing things, and it's very fancy.
I'm sorry, I just gotta put this comment up here. I don't like
And you were manifesting now, Dani. You are going to manifest it, okay?
I'm gonna get so much. I'm ready, y'all. Evo.
I'm ready to manifest some mask art now. Okay, so
I might take up dance and do a mask video just for the hell of it.
Listen.
I should just compile all of them.
Do a montage.
Right. Oh my goodness. Where do we even start?
How are you, Ibo? Let's do a check.
I am doing the best that I can. That's how I'm doing.
That's weird.
I'm trying to make it work, and so far it's working. There's been a couple breakdowns, but I'm still here. How are y'all doing?
It's going. It's definitely going. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Versus tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just always reminded. What's that? The equinox has happened. Fall is happening. Fall is here. Summer's over. It fell. It fell back already. But we're getting through. You also do work with the Washington Black Trans Task Force now. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, or ease us into what you do now? Because all of that I'm assuming was before the pandemic as well too. Like how do you make your living?
How do I make my living? I am working with the Washington Black Trans Task Force right now. I'm the project manager for a housing project that we're doing for Black trans women, and I'm still getting used to it, but I'm learning a lot of terrible things about our system. I'm also learning the ways in which we can bypass some of those things. And I get to work with really amazing people who have a lot of insight on pretty much everything. Like I'm on a Signal thread with all kinds of great replies and knowledge and wisdom and various things as well. So I'm having a great time so far.
That's beautiful.
No, we love it. We love just the more people that want to help. We love it. One of the things I think that's really interesting is that you do these self-defense kits called Tina's Kits. This is not a solution. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and protection for Black trans women?
And how did it complete?
Yeah, and how did it complete?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to tell y'all that it's just been rough having to hear over and over and over again how Black trans women are being targeted and murdered and harassed and brutalized in almost every week or every day or every whatever it is. Like you get a text message, you see it on Instagram, and I wanted to do something, right? Like, 'cause I just feel so helpless in all of it. And I wanted to do something. And so I reached out to someone that provided me with with a charger for my phone when I went on tour, because I had a lot of concerns at myself as a trans person out in the world. And so I asked her where she got it and if she could provide me more. And 2 days later, there was 35 chargers sitting at my doorstep. And I started thinking more about what else folks need. And if we're thinking about it, we need to be armed. We need to arm ourselves at this point in time, because no one's going to help us. We saw that terrible video of the young women that were on Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, that personally affected me because those are streets that I used to run as a young person, right? And you saw how literally no one did anything. So we're out here on our own. So I thought about having pepper spray, these what are they called? Self-defense keychains, where they're shaped in a particular way to hit the tender points of your attacker. Randy has one, I think. Yeah, the Kabuki chains. And then also thinking about safety. So there's also drink test cards where you can take your drink and put a drop of it and see if there's it's been laced in any sort of way. And then because we need them, condoms, dental dams, and then masks. I know that's Dani's favorite. There's masks in there also, so you can do your art. And it all comes in a little pouch, and they're free for Black trans women. So I've put them in 12 different states, multiple places, and then also all over Seattle. And then you can also pick them up at Gay City, Repair Revolution, and Open Books Poetry Bookstore. And there's little to no barrier. If you are a Black trans woman or femme, just go ask for one. They will give it to you. And I wanted to make sure that there was no application process or, delving into personal information.
And what is the response? What has the response been to the kits and making sure that they get out to those who are in need of them?
Yeah. So the response from in terms of donations and in terms of folks supporting it has been really great. When I do a performance, I talk about it. As a poet, I talk about it at my performances. So folks have been donating in that aspect. It has slowed down because I feel like the white guilt is tiring off now.
Yeah.
This guilt is they're getting tired of being guilty. But I do feel like there are some folks that are still actively trying to get donations. There are folks that are doing projects, selling books, selling their old clothes, trying to donate to this cause. And in terms of response from people that are receiving these kits, I think it's so interesting because when I was giving them live at Taking Black Pride, folks were like, "Oh, thank you." It was such a shock to receive something without wanting something in return, right? I was just putting something in someone's hands and being like, "Okay, bye," right? And so the shock was also heartbreaking for me to see, where folks were like, "Really, I can have this? Yeah, take it, please. It's yours. Go, do what you need with it." So I think that's the part that's heartbreaking for me. And then also knowing that, again, as the kits are titled, this is not a solution to this problem. You know what I mean? Pepper spray runs out. We can lose things, the Uber card that's in there, the $25 Uber card that's in there will run out at some point, right? And so that's the hard part, is that I'm continuing to make these knowing that this is not a solution to the problem, but just an offering.
Right. And how can people, if people want to donate and people want to make sure that you keep this up, how can they do that?
Oh, you can reach me at my Venmo, which is at Eva Barton, or my Cash App at $ Eva Barton. All those things, yeah. You can put it right there. It's right there for you to see, and you can donate to me. And I will make sure that everybody. I often feel responsible to show folks what I'm buying. I will never show you who's receiving it, because that's none of your business. But but what I will show you is that I am buying these things. I am putting them together. People are getting them.
Right. I thank you for that, and I'm almost like, why you got to show people what you buying? Can't they just trust? And it's that type of thing. Also, it's I received one of the kits, and multiple people have, and so what you're doing is real. Why do people need proof out there saving the world? Again, in solidarity, just kind of believe what people are doing,
right?
And they'll show you if they're not doing it or not. That's the other thing. The other reason that we have you on here because Randy mentioned your book, Insubordinate. And can you tell us a little bit about that and what it's about and what can we expect?
Yeah. What can you expect? It's my book is called Insubordinate. I was titled Insubordinate by a group of people over a year ago. And I started to recognize that all of my identities are insubordinate. Like as a Black person in America, like I'm definitely insubordinate. As a trans person, I am insubordinate. You know, like all of these things that I'm doing are insubordinate. So really the question is these titles that you give to me, is it really just dependent on who's saying it? And, you know, like, and what is your purpose in my life or my work? And does it matter? So,
You have any questions, Mason?
No, I just you have a reading of your book coming up.
I have a couple of them. One of which is a town hall, and Tara Hardy will be interviewing me about that. But I do have a performance beforehand, and that is on October 8th.
Ooh,
And it's on my, oh my gosh, this is so fancy. My website is at the bottom here that you can see, and it's my name. Can you believe it? It's there. It's right there.
Yes, it is. We gotta support. And so you can go to the website. You can order the book from the website. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can get other types of
Merch on the website.
Yeah, you can also, you can keep warm in your fall, as fall has happened with your insubordinate beanie. And then the keychains, because Black folks are creative, as we're just creative people. The keychains have been used for earrings, so if you want to buy 2 of those and just do that, like, please do. I'm here for it.
Yes.
I will be making a few purchases, even though my financial advisor will hate me, but hate me. I like that long sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
It says Plant Daddy.
I have a pink version of it.
Ooh, I like that.
And Ebo really does have those quotation marks on their fingers.
I love it. And I'm looking at the cover of the book, and it's really, really beautiful. Who designed that for you?
His name is Jordan Tabihe. He lives out in Los Angeles. Old friend of mine that I've known since high school, who's a fancy graphic designer and really wanted to be part of art. Right, because like as a graphic designer, you do logos and all that boring stuff all day, and so was really happy to do something that was part of art.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, if someone they can go on your website, I was going to ask a question that's really simple. If you want to, support Ebo, if you want to book Ebo with some real serious cash, not $80 at the last minute.
Unless you put $80 in their Venmo, you can put $80 in their Venmo and don't ask them to do shit for the stuff they do.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Not a last minute $80 come perform, but $80 in the Venmo without anything attached to it.
Yeah,
you can definitely do that. And Ebo, you have been in Seattle for how long?
Oh my gosh, 15 years now.
Woo!
I know. Oh, I know. And I'm still here though. That's the best part. I'm still here.
You
They
are.
can't get rid of me as hard as they're trying.
Yes. And from your first time landing in Seattle to now, what has changed for you? What's different for you? And what keeps you here?
Oh, I think the lack of money keeps me here.
Well, wait, let me put this back up.
Here, it's more money. That was right on time. It's the lack of money, because like I'm just so I know how to survive here right now, right? And so like I can. And then also I think that what keeps me here, I think the art, like Black folks in the art scene are what keep me here. Because I feel like there is this strong network, because we are all we have. Like we are actually all we have here. And so like it's a lot stronger than I feel like that I felt in other places.
That's so true. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Is there anybody out there in the world in art that you're in Seattle that you're excited about, that you just kind of want to give a killing it shout out to?
Oh, I think they're all sitting here right now.
We're not paying them, so you don't have to do that because we're not paying. Interview, okay?
No. Like honestly, like yeah. But let's see. Can I think of anybody that I do want to shout out my friend Ben Israel. Is just a great artist with a lot of life happening around him. So I just want to shout him out. His book, A Gorgeous New Language, came out the same day my book did. So if you see him, let him know that he's doing good in the world.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're getting down to our 15-minute mark, almost done. Evo, please stay with us if you can. We're about to close out. We're about to do some fun things. We have a section called Bitch Please. And so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna start this off because I am so like, so Lisa Ray, we know Lisa Ray.
We do.
From movies like
It's her little rant this week, yeah. Yes.
And we know Lisa Ray's half sister, the Brat. The Brat. I did not know this. I did not know that they weren't talking for a while. So on the Cocktails with Queens, which is Vivica A. Fox and Selena Johnson and
Claudia.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. They decided to surprise Lisa Ray for her birthday and bring the Brat on.
Of random extra family. That's always fun.
My bitch pleases to the three co-hosts. Don't ever try to surprise people because what they thought was going to be beautiful, them hoes got their faces slapped because Lisa Ray was not having any of it. Now, say what you want to say about Lisa Ray. I appreciate the fact that she was not fake in her feelings. I appreciate the fact that she was just like, look, I love my sister. It's really great. But right now, I want to fuck with her because I'm hurt. And since y'all want to bring me on to surprise me, I'm going to turn this on y'all head. And you know, they're trying to like, well, it's your sister, it's your family. You know, this is the time to heal. And she was like, no, I'm not having it. And so the Brat was like, see, I told y'all this how she is. I mean, it was so family real. Like, the messy part of me that everyone knows is there, I was enjoying every moment of it. Because Lisa Ray was just like, look, I just want you to be happy. I'm happy that you're living in your truth. That's all I ever wanted for you. I just wanted to be there to support you. I did not want it to be a secret for me. And so I've seen Lisa Ray and the Brat at the club before, and they was getting it in. Like, I've been at the club with them, and they were getting it in. But again, say what you want to say about Lisa Ray. I appreciate the fact that she was like, look, you are my sister. I'm here to support you. And no matter what, I'm there. I got your back. And you cut me out of your life. And that really hurt. And the honesty inside of that. And Brat got to live the Brat's truth. She's got to live her truth. And I understand that. But it's not even about that. It was just a point of like, these three folks was like, we're going to surprise you. And they said that. They was just like, like, bitch, please don't do that to people. Don't be, especially on TV, don't be trying to surprise people. I'm not surprised to bring your long lost dad in. Don't do it.
Did Brat say anything before the call? Like, y'all, that probably not a good idea.
No!
You know, we're not really talking. This could go completely left.
The Brat was just like, you know. But what the Brat did say was like, it's my fault. Like, the Brat didn't say, like, oh, it's Lisa's fault that we didn't talk. The Brat was like, no, it's my fault. Like, I fucked up. I messed up. And so that's what I appreciate about the Brat. Like, she really was like, no, it's all on me. Even with that being said, Lisa Ray was like, yes, bitch, it's on you, and I'm still not talking to you. Like, it was just, I'm sorry, like, if you go watch it, like, it's painful. But again, I was just like, the three co-hosts, I was like, y'all was wrong. Y'all should have just been like, here's a cake.
But it made for a good clip. I know that. I mean, a lot of people watched it, right? So
Yeah, it just happened to run through my Facebook, and I was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Ooh." So anyway, that's my please. Like, so Mason, Randy, don't surprise me with a long. Don't surprise
None
me.
of your siblings.
None of my siblings.
None of your
Like, we
siblings.
get along. Don't get me wrong, but please check in because we may not get along that month. You try to surprise me, but we normally get along. So just be like,
I feel like the rule is if you've never heard them talk about that person, don't surprise them with that person.
Yeah.
If they-
Come out their house,
I miss this
don't put
person.
them in their face. That's it.
Yes.
If you don't say I miss my sister, I'm
Yes.
not gonna do it.
And the breath of it, like, Lisa Ray was gonna be like, we on TV, we gonna be cool. I'm sorry, I appreciate you, Lisa Ray, for being like, okay, yeah, but no.
She was like, no, I'm gonna keep it.
Right. So that's my bitch, please. That's it was sad and hilarious all at the same time. Like, we gotta like,
Vivica.
yes.
And Claudia, oh yeah, they're a mess.
Vivica, she need to recover from 50 Cent. She still need to recover. My opinion. I don't think she's over it.
I still want her to be you can play that game, Vivica. That's what I want her to be still. I just miss that era. I miss that era of her work.
It was,
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody else got a bitch, please?
I had like one, it was from last week, and it just connects to anything earlier. It was just the fact that the policeman who shot the trans woman 16 times, it was justifiable. And I just want to tell our court systems, bitch, please. And I cannot wait till all of you burn down. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Similarly, I don't be calling people. I don't call people that, but I'll say nigga please. And so my nigga please for today. I was like, ass. Trying to work out my toxic masculinity. There's certain things I would not call people. But yeah, so to go along with that, so just in the ways that people are, saying like, oh, this is justified to be able to shoot people this type of way. I don't know if y'all saw that the Attorney General in Kentucky got caught in a lie where he said that the decision to only indict the one officer was that of the grand jury, and one of the jurors is actually suing and saying like, actually, that's not what happened, and you actually released what happened in the grand jury room because what you're saying is actually not truthful. Like,
right.
We the choice to indict the officers that shot Breonna. We got the choice to indict just one officer and only for damage outside of the home.
Wow. Now, I haven't kept up on the news a lot because, again, it just brings me down to like stay so inundated. But, he plays the game that he needs to play to do the thing that he needs to do. And I'm so glad one of the jurors was just like, I'm going to say it. The jurors was like, bitch, please, no.
Okay.
We're not doing it.
Not with you right now.
Right. You're not going to put that lie on me.
I really hate people.
Yes.
I really hate people.
Yeah. Just to touch on, we have a few minutes left. We kind of touched on it earlier. I don't even want to say go out to vote. I just want to say pay attention to what is happening. Just I'm really at that point. I'm just none of y'all. Like, I would literally put in somebody else's name. And I know that's not solving anything, but I did not fully watch the debates. I did not watch them at all. I saw snippets and clippings because, again, I'm trying to preserve myself. Yeah. We have a white man that is supposed to be looking out for the best interests of you say, what did he say? Stand by and stand down or something like that.
Stand down and stand by.
Yes, to the Proud Boys, which he verbally said the Proud Boys. And then I saw someone was like, well, that's not what he meant. And I'm like, again.
What, like that shit makes me want to throw things. What the fuck? How the fuck are people gonna say that's not what he's an adult person. He does not he's trying to make y'all seem like he's confused. He is not confused, okay?
No,
he's right.
The people behind him are not confused. The people around him are not confused. He is very clear. And today the Proud Boys are very clear, but again, white liberals, white moderates are somehow confused about what that actually meant.
Yes. So I'm going to put this up again. And I'm being very serious. We know yes, Evo, you are supplying something that does not. It's not a. It won't make the problem go away. But we're going to need this. Black trans bodies, Black femme bodies are going to need this in the next few weeks, if not now. They need it now. So please donate what you can. Please give what you can, because the safety of our community will also depend on this. Again, we talked a few weeks ago or last week about safety measures for people, especially with voting, before voting and after voting.
Yes.
I'm just really serious about that. I'm really I've never felt this type of anxiety around voting before, and what's going to happen. So I just want us to, again, be in solidarity with each other, because we're going to need each other. And if we are fighting right now, we're not going to have a chance, And so that's what I have to say about that,
And we talked about this last week, but I really just want people, again, think about what your safety plan stuff is. Have concrete conversation with your friends and your loved ones. Be aware of your surroundings as much as you can, right? When in time, violence does not decrease when things are uncertain, right? It does not. And so we need to be honest with ourselves about that and how we keep each other safe, how we keep ourselves safe. And for people, again, that are watching, whether it's the replay, whether you're watching right now, if you got it to give, make sure that you are reaching out to support Black folks' survival, right? And Black trans folks' survival in all the different directions that we need it. And not just keep your institutions alive, but to keep us alive.
That part.
Period.
So we're going to end it how we always end it. What is your joy? Ebo, you're our guest. We'll have you go last. You'll have the last word. What is your joy? I love it. Who wants to start?
So I'm gonna start. I'll start. So my joy is of starting a new project on a theology of healing for survivors, and so I'm really excited about that. So we're reaching out to a lot of people over the next few weeks. And I'm really excited for folks to talk about their journeys of what does it actually mean for our faith institutions to be accountable when it comes to violence against us.
Awesome, thank you. My joy. I was really exhausted today until this conversation. So my joy, of course, is always you all. Seriously, I was really exhausted. I did not have a lot of energy. As y'all can see, I did not beat her. I just feel like I can just put a little concealer on because the darkness under these eyes is real, but because it's real, and so I was just like, oh my God, I'm not camera ready, but that does not matter. What mattered to me today is just being in your presence, Evo. I thank you for being a part of this today with us. Come back anytime, Evo. Invitation, because I know you have other things to say about all the other topics that we were talking about. So
even though you was hiding in the green room, even though answers, okay.
Right.
I was screaming in the green room. I just want y'all to know that. But yeah.
So that's my joy.
My joy would have to be, I'm gonna circle back when I said my blessing was the Cutie Pop community support group.
Yeah.
That Michaela runs through BTTF. I believe we still are accepting folks to come in. So I'll post that link about how to sign up and know when they are. They're Mondays from 6 p.m. PST to 7 p.m. Just an hour. And it's been really nice to see the folks that are in that group and just being like, oh, yes. Like you said, like you're exhausted until you get there.
Yeah.
And then my other joy was today, one of my former students is in high school right now, has been like messaging me being like, good morning, Auntie Randy. High school's good. I want to go to the next ball. Make sure I know about it. I'm getting all the, I'm just like, the babies get to me. Yeah. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be taking that one under my wings. So yeah, definitely my joy is there. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Eva, what's your joy?
My joy is going to be this Saturday because I have a day off.
Yeah.
And it's for me for the whole day, whether that be sleeping in a little bit longer or making something to eat that's delicious or, meditating or whatever it is, I'm going to do things for me that make me happy. So I'm looking forward to my joy on Saturday.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, thank you, Ebo, for tuning in.
Thank you all for having me. Really, honestly, thank you so much.
Because you killing it. So we had to bring this on. To get in contact with Ebo to purchase some things, some merch, the new book, Insubordinate, EboBarton.com. Yes. And again, PayPal and Venmo at Ebo Barton, Cash App, $ Ebo Barton, to support Tina's kits. Thank you. Mason, Randy, it's always a pleasure. Love you all dearly, darlings.
Love you.
Yeah, we will see you all next week. Yes. Next week? Yes.
First week of October.
Ooh, yes.
It's going to be a lot happening.
Right.
Make sure y'all are taking care of yourselves. Don't travel alone. And stay hydrated. And choose yourself.
Mm-hmm. Listen, every day.
Okay. See that. We are in the living room, and have a beautiful night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.